What do you like about this photo?
I like the grayish tone to it with a hint of purple.
Okay.
I do like the idea that like as my natural gray is starting to come out, like starting to blend that with whatever color I get. Okay. It doesn't have to be necessarily this, but I like that it's like dark.
Yeah.
Like going like as light as I can with my hair.
Okay. It looks more very dimensional here and then more concentrated on the ends. Is that what you like? Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like that also when it's curled, you see the color more. So when her hair is straight, it does look darker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you want it to look like that straight or
when it's curled? With it darker.
When it's straight? Okay.
I usually, I'm not really good at curling my hair.
Okay.
It's always like straight. I'm okay with it going a little bit darker, but when I curl it like on occasion, maybe something close to this one.
Okay. And then do you want the front to be lighter?
What do you think? I don't really have a preference.
I normally will do a little bit lighter, but hers looks really broody. Do you like how broody it is?
What does that mean?
Like, the color looks like it really starts here.
Okay.
Like, do you see how it kind of starts here?
Yeah.
It's all the way to the root, but then it's shadow rooted pretty long.
Okay.
I usually do a shorter shadow root to there, but this is all the way to here.
Let's do what you usually do.
Okay, whatever I usually do?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I usually would make the front a little bit lighter in that case. What's your color history?
This was my hair color back in October.
Okay. Have you done permanent or just highlights?
Balayage.
Okay. But you never like covered the gray, you always did highlights?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that was the color and then that's how it faded out?
I went back to the salon back in January and they did another balayage with the hope of having it like on the grayish ashy tone. So they did the highlighting and then they covered the rest of the hair black. If that makes sense. Like the rest of the
outside the foils?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we might have a little issue with
I know.
those
I was like,
okay. Let's see what we can do and try to get you lighter. The other thing too is you have like these brown highlights that are really fine, and it's gonna you're still gonna have some of that in between because it's gonna be impossible for me to pick everything out. So you'll have different colors in there, but I'll try to get most of it to be as ashy and gray and blended as possible.
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I got a little too excited and totally forgot to take like a before video of her hair. But you guys kind of get the gist of what it looks like. She has like some virgin root growing in with some old highlights that are very fine. And then she has some darkened possible highlights in between those fine highlights. So it's a bit of a correction, I would say, in the sense that even though she wants to be really silvery and gray, I mean, our goal is to just get her as light as possible, even everything out as much as possible. But it's not going to be 100% perfect, and it will just be something that we'll have to work on to get towards something that is close to her goal. But our goal is to just lighten her up, get her a little bit more ashy, and steer away from a more warmer toned brown. So if you are new, I'm doing my signature placement. I always start in the back around the nape, do some detailed foils around the hairline here because this part is part of the money piece. This will frame her face, especially since we're not cutting it. Her hair is very long. So if you miss out on this part and don't do those extra foils around the hairline behind the nape, she'll have a darker end. So I always like to make sure that I put some sort of color there or just something to break it up, especially if the client is going a lot lighter than their natural hair color. I just feel like it looks and ties everything really well. And then after I do those detailed hairlines around the nape, I'm going to take a center section all the way up the head. This is what I call the mohawk section. And this is just going to cover more ground, make this placement a lot easier to go through and a lot quicker and more efficient, but also set us up for success for next time. Because since this might take multiple sessions to really get her to her goal, I want to make sure that I'm going to make my life easier next time and not do something that is going to be hard to pick out or pick up the next time when she comes in for her touch-up or follow-up. appointment. So I'm doing this mohawk. Usually when I get towards the top of the head is where I kind of flip them around and start to do their money piece, and I always will start their money piece on their forehead and then continue doing my money piece pattern. For her, I did back-to-back weaves. I did about 3, and then I went back to my slicing pattern until I reached the other side of the mohawk. It's really key for this part to have the foils a little bit more dense together in the front, and then slowly, gradually space them out, leaving more depth and dimension and more of their natural in between the light pieces to give the effect to where it gradually gets lighter in the front, just like it frames the face. I did diagonal backs off the hairline for the side money piece, and then you can see I'm doing a foil right above the ear to connect pretty much that foil that we did, the very first foil, to the side money piece. And then pretty much once I'm done doing all the little details around the entire hairline, then I go back in and do my same slicing technique. Now, since this is her first session with me, that's why we're doing the slices, but it's also so it's a lot easier for next time for me to pick up whatever I left out this time. And the bleach that I'm using is the Danger Jones bleach. I do a lighter bowl in the beginning. By lighter, I mean a little bit of a weaker bowl. So it's kind of like 20 volume diluted, I would say, with some 5 volume. And then after that, I pretty much just do 20 volume for the rest of the head. I've already separated the hair, over directing it towards the front. And now I'm going in and doing tip outs. This is going to help get rid of a lot of that old color that she has on those mids and ends. And whenever I do tip outs, I want to make sure that the tip outs, I'm not grabbing too much hair. I want to make sure that these get a pretty fine section to where it lifts really well. And those parts are a little bit more important to me because the tip out, I feel like if you don't do the extra step in that sense, sometimes you can see some warmth and lines, and it just makes it a lot easier if you just take that extra step and make sure that those pieces are nice and fine. So for her toner formulation, I'm using the Danger Jones gloss toners for her root, and we did a mixture of 5-1 with the 6-01. On the ends, we did mostly of that artistic toner silver. I did mix it with some of the Pulp Riot Lilac Chill just to kind of give a bit of a more violet-y hue to it. And I would say that high speed toner is very comparable to the artistic toners in the sense that they are a bit progressive and they don't have a level to them. So I feel like they fade a lot cleaner than if you were to use a demi sometimes, especially when you're working with hair that is not as light as you'd like it to be. So it just makes it fade a little bit easier to where when we do her second session, it fades out where I want it to, and we don't have to fight too much warmth.
How's the color feel?
Nice.
Good.
Love it.
So clean. Yay. Now you're ready for your hair.
Yes, I am. Oh my god.
So good.
This is like the best one I've ever had ever since I started coloring my hair.
Oh, thank you.
Finally reached what I wanted to do.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. I absolutely loved it. Now, it's not perfectly silver or perfectly gray like the photo, but I did say that it would take a couple sessions only because of her color history, and I felt like this is all her hair could really take for today. And I love it. I feel like the artistic toners did a really good job at toning out a lot of that warmth. It evened it out really well, and I have full confidence that it's going to fade perfectly, so that when we do her second touch up to get her blonder and more silver, it is going to make my life a lot easier too. The only reason why I prefer it over sometimes using the demis is because it fades a little bit more yellow. I find that the demis kind of fade a little bit more beigey, and so it takes a bit more to kind of get rid of the toner a bit more. I feel like the artistic toners fades out completely back to yellow, and so when you're doing another session, it just makes it a lot easier to work with and brighten it back up if the toner is completely faded out. So this is what her hair looked like 4 months later. This is her before her second touch-up, and this is the after. We got her so much more silver after her second session, and I feel like she was really happy with the way that her hair looked after this one for sure. You can definitely see more gray and silver and a slight hue of violet peeking through, but overall we absolutely loved this look. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.